We begin our journey not with thunder or spectacle, but with silence. A silence stretched across more than 3 million years. The earth is quiet here, save for the wind stirring tall grasses and the distant calls of birds we no longer recognize. We are in eastern Africa, what will one day be called the Afar region of Ethiopia. But this is long before maps, before language, before memory. It is the late Pliocene. The continents have settled into familiar positions, though the world itself feels unfamiliar. There are no cities, no fires, no wheel-shaped paths carved into the earth, just trees, sky, and the slow rhythm of survival. Among the shifting shadows of acacia and fig trees, a small figure moves through the underbrush. She is not a chimpanzee, though her body resembles one. And she is not yet human, though her walk, upright, deliberate, whispers of things to come. This is Australopithecus afarensis, one of our earliest known ancestors. She is slight, standing just over a meter tall, with long arms and a forward-jutting face. Her brain is small, barely the size of a modern chimp's, but in the tilt of her pelvis, in the curve of her foot, we find the beginnings of something extraordinary. She walks on 2 legs, and this simple act, so ordinary to us now, is one of the great revolutions in our evolutionary story. It frees the hands, it changes the spine, it alters the gaze. She can now watch the tall grass sway for movement, or cradle an infant close while moving through the scrubland. We watch her pause near a cluster of wild tubers, her eyes scanning. The wind carries the scent of dry earth, dung, and sun-warmed leaves. Nearby, a troop of baboons screeches at something unseen. This is not our world, but it is our beginning. The land she walks is not barren, not yet savanna nor deep forest, but something in between. A mosaic of woodland and open grass stretches to the horizon. Trees cluster near watercourses, offering shade and fruit, while tall grasses sway where the soil is dry and sun-bleached. This is East Africa during the Pliocene, roughly 3.2 million years ago. The air is warm, dry, and alive with sounds. The chirp of unseen insects, the low rumble of distant hooves. Birds call from the trees, some like modern hornbills or starlings, others now extinct. A breeze carries the scent of wild fig, dust, and animal dung. Beneath a canopy of scattered clouds, life pulses in quiet rhythms. Here, the climate is shifting. The forests are thinning. Rainfall is less reliable. Where once a solid green blanket stretched across the land, open spaces now emerge. This change will not stop. It will shape everything that follows. Australopithecus adapts to this changing world. She lives at the edge, between tree and grass, between climbing and walking. Her body tells this story. Curved fingers for grasping branches, but feet firm and arched for walking upright. She is made for both worlds. She must be. Predators stalk this landscape. Saber-toothed cats lurk in the long grass. Giant hyenas patrol the shadows. Large snakes coil among roots. Crocodiles haunt the muddy rivers. For the vulnerable, water can mean both life and death. But the land also provides. Thorny bushes offer edible leaves. Fallen fruits ferment sweetly beneath fig trees. Tubers and roots hide underground, waiting for clever hands to dig them out. Insects crawl under bark. Bird eggs glisten in quiet nests. Nearby, other primates chatter. Baboons, colobus monkeys, vervets. Herds of antelope graze in the distance. Occasionally, an elephant ancestor moves slowly across the plain, its silhouette vast against the sky. This is a world in transition. A world not yet ruled by humans, but already shaped by the choices of those who would become them. She stands just over a meter tall, about the size of a modern 6-year-old child. Her limbs are long, especially her arms, which hang slightly forward as she walks. Her gait is upright, but not like ours. It is a little swaying, a little unsure. She walks with her knees close together, hips shifting with each step, an ancient compromise between the forest canopy and the open plain. Her face is flat, her jaw projecting slightly forward, with a low forehead and heavy brow ridge. Her eyes are deep-set, alert, and always moving, scanning the horizon, the canopy, the ground. Her ears twitch to subtle sounds. A crack in the underbrush might mean danger, or food. Her name, Australopithecus afarensis, means southern ape of the afar. But she is no ordinary ape. Her spine curves gently, like ours, for balance in upright walking. Her pelvis is short and broad, built to support her internal organs against gravity as she stands. Her toes are aligned forward, not grasping like a chimp's, but built for walking. And yet, her fingers are long and curved. Her shoulder joints rotate easily. These are the marks of a climber. She still sleeps in trees, finds refuge in the canopy, and perhaps escapes there when predators grow near. The ground is useful, but not always safe. Her brain is small, around 400 to 500 cubic centimeters. That's about a third the size of ours, and only slightly larger than a chimpanzee's. But brain size is not everything. What matters is what she does with it. Pattern recognition, group cohesion, memory of where roots grow in the dry season. These are not small things. She has no tools, at least not the shaped stones we might recognize. But she may use sticks to dig or pry. Her teeth suggest a varied diet: fruit, leaves, seeds, perhaps the occasional insect or scavenged meat. She is neither animal nor human, but something beautifully, delicately in between. Every bone in her body is a quiet record of transition. She does not know it, but she is walking the edge of something entirely new. She is not alone. Australopithecus afarensis lives in small groups, perhaps 5, 10, maybe more. There are mothers and infants, juveniles at play, vigilant males scanning the horizon. They do not speak, not with words as we know them, but their world is filled with sound: grunts, hoots, soft chirps, warning calls. A language of bodies and glances, of presence and absence. At the center of their world is the bond between mother and child. Infants are born helpless, like ours, and held close for months. They nurse often, clinging to hairless bellies with small but strong hands. As they grow, they are carried on hips, backs, arms, always near, always learning, watching what is eaten, when to run, where to hide. Childhood is short but vital. Youngsters observe closely. They mimic gestures, follow adults to food patches, and test the limits of safety with curiosity and play. They learn which plants are bitter, which trees bear fruit in which season, and how to read the moods of those around them. The group sleeps in trees, choosing high, stable branches for the night. Before dusk, they may forage together, spreading out to search, regrouping when calls signal success or danger. When the sun lowers and the shadows lengthen, they retreat upward, wrapping themselves into the safety of the canopy. There are no tools as we think of them, no hand axes, no fire. But their hands are always busy, plucking fruit, grooming each other's fur, peeling bark, holding on. Grooming in particular plays a central role. It is a form of care, of connection. Fingers comb through hair to remove insects or dirt, but also to soothe, to bond. There is no alpha in the way we imagine. Leadership may shift with age or strength, but survival depends on unity. A cry of alarm can scatter the group in a second. A shared discovery of food can bring them together again. In this fragile society, trust is not a luxury. It is the very fabric of life. Together they stand a better chance. Together they endure. Life for Australopithecus. Afarensis is a quiet balance between caution and courage. Each day begins with a decision: when to move, where to forage, and how far to stray from the safety of trees. Every step across the open ground is a risk, but risk is the cost of survival. The sun rises quickly in the East African sky, warming the earth and waking the predators. Lions, larger than today's, stalk silently through the tall grass. Hyenas, bone-crushing and fierce, lurk near watering holes. There are massive raptors overhead, crocodiles in the river, and snakes underfoot. For a small hominin, Any encounter can be fatal. She must be alert. Her ears pick up the distant cough of a leopard. Her eyes flick to the rustling grass. One wrong movement, one late reaction, and she may not return to the trees. Weather is another challenge. Rainfall comes in bursts. Long, heavy storms followed by weeks of dry heat. Waterholes shrink. Plants wither. The group must move often to follow seasonal shifts in food and moisture. There is no shelter but shade. No fire to warm the cold nights. Only each other and instinct. Food must be found, not stored. She scratches at the soil for tubers, cracks open seed pods, plucks berries with practiced care. Sometimes they stumble upon a carcass, perhaps brought down by a lion, picked over by vultures. There is meat left in the bones. With sharp stones, she might pry it free. Not tool-making, perhaps, but tool-using. A difference worth noting. Her feet are toughened by miles. Her hands, quick and careful. She climbs when needed, but spends more time on the ground now than her ancestors did. This shift toward bipedal living is not without cost. On the ground, she is slower than a cheetah, weaker than a baboon, and smaller than nearly everything else. But her strength lies elsewhere, in flexibility, in memory, in the quiet intelligence of pattern and rhythm. She survives by reading the land, by knowing when to move, and by staying close to those she trusts. Every day is uncertain, and yet, she endures. She will never know the name we give her. She will not see herself as part of a story, but her bones, buried deep beneath layers of sediment and time, will one day be found, and they will speak. Australopithecus afarensis is not a destination. She is a turning point, a bridge between what was and what could be. Her upright walk, her curious mind, her social bonds, they do not disappear. They deepen, they evolve, they carry forward into the next chapter. From her lineage, something new will emerge. Homo habilis, the handyman, appearing around 2.4 million years ago. With him comes the first clear evidence of shaped stone tools. Simple flakes, sharp edges used to scrape, cut, and break. It is not just the tool that matters, but the thought behind it. Intention, planning, memory. But even before that, Australopithecus lays the groundwork. Her life is a lesson in endurance, in adaptation, in the quiet strength of cooperation. Her children grow within social groups. They learn by watching. They stay close. And slowly, over generations, the brain grows larger. The hands become more skilled. The world, more accessible. She does not dominate her environment. She moves within it. She reads its moods. Her survival depends not on conquest, but on understanding. In this too, she teaches us. The fossil record preserves only fragments. A pelvis here, a jaw there, a nearly complete skeleton we call Lucy. But from these remnants, a fuller picture has emerged, of beings who lived not in isolation, but as part of something larger. And through them, we glimpse ourselves. We walk today because she did. We raise our young in close-knit groups because she once cradled hers. The long road from forest to city, from silence to song, from survival to meaning, began with beings like her. So let us pause. Let us listen, not with ears, but with imagination. The past is not gone. It sleeps beneath our feet, in ancient soil and stone. And every step we take is part of the journey they began, long ago, beneath an African sky.